Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special episode of What Do You Mean You've Never Seen, a podcast that explores and analyzes prestigious and popular films that one of us has never seen before. I'm your host, Jonathan Colon, and I'm joined as always by my co-hosts, Jennifer Branch.
Hey, everybody.
And Max Abelman.
Hello, everybody.
Today, we are going to be giving you a special reaction to our recent viewing of Thor, Love and Thunder.
Ooh.
It's got love. It's got thunder.
It had both of those
It's got
things.
Thor.
It's got Thor.
It's got and.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of and in this
There's a
movie.
whole lot of and, yeah.
So thank you for joining us as we discuss this film that we've all three of us just seen in the movie theater.
Ooh, so fancy.
Yeah, we're
Had
just
the reclining
going for
seats
it.
and everything.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Very
fantastic. Let's get right into it.
Yes.
All right. This movie obviously was just released. It's in its opening weekend of release. Directed by Taika Waititi, starring Chris Hemsworth, Tessa Thompson, Natalie Portman, Christian Bale, and a lot of other people.
Russell Crowe was
Yeah.
in
Taika
there.
Waititi's in it.
Mhm.
Which one is
And-
Taika Waititi?
He's Korg, the rock guy.
Yes.
Okay.
We like Korg.
Fair.
Let's go ahead and just get right into our discussion on the film. We want to know your thoughts and impressions on it. Was it an interesting watch and what stood out about it? And if you have any thoughts about the length, the pace, or the action. We're going to start with Jennifer and give us your thoughts.
I loved it. I thought it was so good. As most movies are, I did feel like it was long, but they're always long. And, you know, what are you going to do? I thought it was really great. I thought it was really funny. I thought there was a lot of highs and lows. I thought there was a lot of surprises. I thought it was great. No notes.
No notes?
No
I mean,
notes.
I
Wow.
always have notes. That was a lie.
How about you,
Why
Max?
did I say that?
Yeah, I think I was very pleasantly surprised at the balance of this movie. I thought it was going to be a little bit heavy-handed, but it was a lot sillier than I expected it to be. And there was like sort of a point where you expected that silliness to sort of drop off, but it maintained through the entire movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a real good balance of serious and comedic and sort of silly. It was a surprisingly silly movie, and I thought it was very enjoyable, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of silliness in it, similar to Thor
Ragnarok,
Ragnarok, which
yeah.
was, of course,
That's my
produced by
favorite,
the same
yeah.
folks
Yeah.
Mhm.
and directed by the same director. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty quickly paced. In fact, there were some things that happened so fast, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
The Guardians of the Galaxy are in this movie for about 15 seconds. And
At the very beginning, yeah.
yeah, they're
it was
all...
a good chunk.
I mean, most of them don't even have lines, I felt like. I felt
Yeah.
like only Chris Pratt had lines.
I feel
Yeah.
like I did not see Groot. He was
No, he was
like,
he was there.
Yeah, I'm sure he was there, but I don't remember, like, at the end of the movie, they showed the Guardians of the Galaxy in the credits, and it credited Vin Diesel, and I was like, oh, yeah, I guess Groot must have been in there somewhere, but it didn't register.
Yeah, I thought they were going to be in it more. I didn't think they were going to be in it a ton, but I thought they were going to play a more important role in the narrative of this story, which they kind of don't.
No.
Yeah.
It's sort of a prologue that they're a part of.
No, they're in like a side adventure that doesn't even really pan out to much
Yeah.
afterwards.
And
yeah.
they're in the first few minutes after the Marvel logo, and then they're
Yeah.
out of it for the whole rest of the movie.
Mhm.
But I really enjoyed Chris Hemsworth in this movie.
He's so good.
Oh, he's so
He's
good.
he's
Yeah.
so charming, and Natalie Portman, she committed to looking pretty rough during part of this.
Yeah.
Her character has cancer,
Very
and
sick.
Yeah.
she, through magical means, gets a hold of Mjolnir, the hammer. It reforges itself for her. And so she turns into the Mighty Thor. So there's like regular Thor and Mighty Thor throughout most of this movie.
I mean, I
Yeah.
know that the movie didn't invent this character, like it was from the comic books, but I'm like, couldn't they have given her some kind of other name? Just Thor
Yeah.
and then the Mighty Thor? It's like, okay.
In the
Like
com-
Thora? Like Thora
Thorina,
Birch from...
I don't know. Or just like a totally different name. Like, why did it have to be Thor at all? Like,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
sort
know.
of strange because in the comics, she actually turns into Thor. It's not
Oh.
like
Like
her.
she takes over Thor's job.
It's like she takes over Thor's body.
Ah,
Like-
interesting.
I'd have to reread up on it, but I feel like real Thor is dead and she is Thor. When
Like
she
the new
picks-
reincarnated. Okay.
When she picks up the hammer, she becomes actual Thor. It's not just a Thor costume. She
Yeah.
becomes Thor.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we should say, we forgot to say at the top of this, but we're just doing full spoilers here.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We're not doing a non-spoiler review. We're not professional movie reviewers, so
No.
there's
Yeah.
there's not a whole lot you can talk about about with this movie without giving
Spoiling.
away the whole
Yeah.
plot. So,
Right.
but Natalie Portman dies of cancer at the end of this movie.
She does. She looks
Yeah.
very sick the whole time. But then she didn't lose her hair, which I thought was an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Like, her
Well-
hair just kind of looks stringy. But she was on chemo, so you would think. I don't know.
Well, she stops the chemo treatment
Yeah,
because
who
the
knows,
like
really?
Mjolnir is keeping her alive, but it's also killing her.
Yeah.
It's like
It's like
preventing her
taking her
body
power.
from fighting the cancer. So I don't think she's on chemo anymore at that point.
Yeah.
And she and Thor come back together, and
Well,
they have
Kat
a nice
Dennings
little.
does a good job of plot exposition there.
Yeah.
for
Well,
that.
Yeah.
that's kind of like her job in the MCU now. She did the same thing in WandaVision.
Facts. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I did see that. I watched it.
Yes.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Thank you for
Thank
committing
you.
to the MCU. All right. So, Max, what other thoughts do you have about any of the characters that you thought were particularly interesting or any of the situations?
I thought it was all pretty interesting what they were lining up. I was interested to see the introduction of the Greek gods into everything. I was excited to hear Hercules' name drop, and I was more excited to see how they were going to incorporate him. It was, of course, they waited until the after credits to be like, huh, now there's Hercules. But I'm excited to see what they do with him. He's a very interesting character. He's a gay-ish character, I think. I'm going to have to look that up, what his sexuality is, but I enjoy reading him. He's dating one of my other personal favorite comic book superhero favorites right now.
Who is that?
It is Novar. You don't know Novar. We don't know Novar yet.
I don't know his
Okay.
life or
Yeah.
her. Is it his or
Anyways,
hers?
a little bit long-winded, but yeah, I thought it was interesting to see Hercules go in there. It was, and I think it was interesting to see them introduce more of the gay themes. It's exciting to see. I wish they would, they would go for it a little bit more.
Mm.
Yeah, they like to tiptoe.
Yeah. Speaking of tiptoeing, Valkyrie is in this movie.
Yeah,
I really
And-
wanted her Phantom of the Opera t-shirt.
yeah,
Yeah, I think it was a sweatshirt though.
yeah. It was like
I thought it was like an
sweater.
oversized t-shirt that she slept in. That's what because she was like in her pajamas. That's how I took it.
Yeah, she's very cash
Yeah.
during
She
this
was
movie.
really cool.
They gave her some great casual outfits in this movie.
It's
That's
like, why would she wear a Phantom of the Opera
Yeah.
t-shirt? I don't know, but I enjoyed it.
Just another thing you wouldn't expect at all is just her in casual outfits. Insane.
like sleepwear, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just rolls up in whatever she's got.
Mhm.
Hanging in her
She
closet.
was very cool. I liked her the whole movie.
Yeah, I thought she was another one. I thought she was going to be more involved in the story than she was. She kind of was just there as comic relief for the most part.
Mm.
They do. There's one scene where they talk about the fact that she was in a lesbian relationship with one of the other Valkyries or
Yeah.
several of the other Valkyries. They don't really make that clear. The ones that were killed by Hela in the prologue to Thor Ragnarok.
Right.
But yeah, she kind of just gets taken out. She doesn't get killed, but she gets injured and she's not really in the third act of the movie that much. I was excited about the team up of her, Natalie Portman, and Thor
Yeah.
together. And I was
It was
hoping that
great
they
to
were
see.
going to follow that all the way through to the end, but they didn't. And it turned out
She
just...
doesn't come back at the
Yeah.
final battle. Yeah.
Yeah. Natalie Portman does, but then she dies.
Then she dies.
Yeah.
And then the bad guy dies, and then
Yeah, what do we think about the bad guy? His name is Gore.
he was very Voldemort-y. Yeah.
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 I don't know if I was very sold on him at first, especially like during the previews. I was like, wow, that looks like a whole bunch of nothing whatever villainy. But he was pretty decent. He had some good character things. They decided to make him a little nutty also, a little quirky.
He kidnaps a bunch of kids,
Oh yeah. That was sad.
including
Oh.
Heimdall's son, which I did not know that there was a Heimdall.
And
Yeah,
he
I
wanted to
don't
be
think
called
that was on my
Axel.
radar.
Like he was a big
Radar.
Guns N' Roses fan. I loved all the music in this. It was so good.
Yeah, it was good.
His real name is Astrid, which I thought was just a girl's name.
I don't
Yeah.
know Norse names, Jonathan. I'm not some
Mm.
sort of Viking.
What kind of research did you do before this movie, Jennifer?
Zero.
Oh,
None whatsoever.
typical.
But I did like that he changed his name to Axel because he wanted to be like Axl Rose.
I mean, yeah, welcome to the jungle.
And he was wearing a Guns N' Roses t-shirt too.
The second movie we reviewed on our podcast that includes the song "Welcome to the Jungle."
I know.
That's
It's a
true.
Guns N' Roses kind of summer.
Yeah, Guns N' Roses "Summer." That's what we should call this.
Yep.
Summer of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And
Guns N' Roses is so hot right now.
I
Yeah.
thought Gore was an interesting villain. I think he had really good motivation. And the fact that he's just killing gods and not killing regular people, I guess, unless they try to defend the gods. I thought that was an interesting character turn for him. And
it
for him
made
to...
a lot of sense, too, based
Yeah.
on what he experienced.
Yeah, he's like a villain that you can sympathize with, which are always the best villains when they're not just evil for no reason.
And
Yeah,
like
it's
just
true.
making more work for themselves because like why do you care so much?
Because
But
because they want, world or universal domination, which who wants that
sounds
kind
like
of
a lot
responsibility?
work. Sounds like a lot
I don't
of
want to
work.
be in
No
charge
thanks.
of all that. You're
No
just
thanks.
looking to get assassinated.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Why do you want that power? I don't want that
no
power.
one. No one should want that much power.
No.
Sif came back. I was
Sif,
happy to see her. I wish
wanted
she
to
was in
see
it
more of her, though. Yeah, I wanted to see more of her.
Which one's she?
She's the lady that was part of Thor's posse in the first movie, and then she was in the second movie, but then she was not in the third one when all of his other friends got killed by Hela.
Yeah, that's right.
But she was in a couple episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which she was very good in. I like Jamie Alexander. I think she's a great actress.
And she was in Loki also for
And she was.
cameo.
She punched him like 50 times.
Yeah.
There was no Loki in this.
There was no
There
Loki.
was no Loki.
There was fake Loki.
Is he dead now?
No,
Or-
No, he exists.
in this timeline, they think he's dead, but he also exists because he grabbed the Tesseract in Avengers Endgame and then went off and had his own adventures in his own series, which supposedly we're getting a season 2 of.
But he
But
was
we
not
did
involved
have fake
in this.
Loki,
We
Matt
did have
Damon.
Matt Damon as
Yeah,
fake Loki.
we did get
Oh,
to
that
see-
was hilarious.
That was great to see again. I'm glad they brought that back.
The world is crumbling around them, and he asked Valkyrie, like, should we be starting to write a play about this? People need to be entertained. It's like the amount of self-importance.
And then they're like,
so
well,
meta,
she didn't say
so
no.
funny. So good. Oh, and I love the scene with the gods, and you got to see, like, it reminded me of like a Star Wars movie when you see all the people from the different planets and they're meeting, but they had the gods and they had like the bow god.
Yeah.
It's just, like,
He was so happy,
silly,
that
it's
bow
so
god.
cute.
It was so silly.
So cute. I loved it. I
Yeah.
loved like the getting the thunderbolt or that was so cool.
What
Oh,
about
yeah.
talk about cameos? What about Melissa McCarthy
That
playing
was
Hela?
great.
Yes.
I was so excited to
I
see
was
her.
like, why wasn't she already playing Hela to begin with?
I was so excited
Could
to
you
see her.
imagine?
And it took me and because like the costuming, I was like, I knew it was her, but then it was almost
Yeah.
like, wait, that is her, right? Like
Yeah.
that's Melissa McCarthy, just like when you first see Matt Damon and you're like, wait, is it Matt
Yeah.
Damon? Like it was so funny.
She
was
does
great.
she does look different. I don't
Yeah.
know, something's changed.
She's getting older.
Yeah.
It happens. People
Yeah.
age.
And she has that villainous makeup too, which
Yeah.
covers up
Looks
most of your
different.
face.
Yeah.
Oh, she was great. I loved
Yeah,
it.
but we had
Oh,
her.
good
We
cameos.
had Kat Dennings show up to give some exposition.
Yeah, which
Stellan
was-
Skarsgård came back, which I thought the MCU had completely forgotten about him. We haven't seen him since I think Age of Ultron was the last time.
You're gonna
So
have
he's-
to.
He's been
refresh
gone
my
for a
memory.
long time.
Which one's that?
Stellan Skarsgård. He's
Yeah.
the physicist that helps Jane and Darcy in the
Oh,
first
okay.
movie.
Okay.
And then he had a big part in Avengers, and he was in Thor: The Dark World, and then he had a small part in Avengers: Age of Ultron, and then we haven't seen him since. I don't believe.
Did you guys like the narration, either when Thor was
Korg?
doing it or Korg was doing it, and then it's like just another Thor adventure? Did you guys like that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I thought it
and then
was
when they
cute.
did the flashback and talked about him and
Yeah.
Jane living together, I liked that. I
Yeah.
enjoyed
Yeah, me too.
And I felt surprisingly emotional when we thought Korg was dead,
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
because
that was
Zeus
a
kills
thing.
him,
Oh,
but his
that was
face
horrible.
survives, so he's just a face after, not even like a head. He's just a face.
Yeah.
And then Valkyrie tied the face. It took me a second to realize what she was doing.
With her
Yeah.
braids.
And she takes her braid and ties them around the back of her head.
That was
kind of
such
creepy.
that was such an image. I was just like,
what
why?
a weird choice. Like, why didn't she just like set him
Why?
down somewhere? And she's like, no, I'm gonna tie him to my head.
See, that's why I want more Valkyrie, because everything she does is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my God! How much did you
She's
love her little like
insane.
bar that she had on the ship? I
Oh, it was
love
fantastic.
that. It was so good. And then, well, only necessities. And then they're like, oh, let me take this keg away. No,
Oh, yeah.
that's a necessity.
That's a
We need
necessity.
it. So good.
Yeah, I like that they still have her drinking all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I just wish we had more of her. I wish she was in the finale. I wish she had really gotten to use that lightning bolt more.
Yeah.
Instead,
Yeah.
Thor kind of takes it over because... Oh, and what do we think about... what do you all think about the side plot of Stormbreaker being jealous
Oh, I know.
of the hammer, and it's like
I
giving
didn't know
Thor
these
all kinds of
things had
attitude.
so much personality.
Yeah,
really.
that was
It's
like
wild.
so wacky.
It was pretty
interesting.
wacky.
It was wacky.
And then
It
he was like,
great,
I'm not
though.
even going to help you at this point. I'm going to help this guy because forget you. You
Yeah.
know?
No,
That
there's-
took him
No.
some
There was that
convincing.
one scene where Thor walks over when Mjolnir is like sitting on that post or whatever it's sitting on, and he starts whispering to it. He's like, "Hey, it's me." And then you turn, and Stormbreaker has floated over next to him like it's watching
Oh my God,
him.
it was
Yeah.
so funny. That was so great. And what did you guys think about the kids getting Thor powers?
Oh, that was so awesome.
Insane.
I loved it.
Yeah.
And he's like, for a limited time only. I love it.
It was
He
super
so
cheesy,
cute
but
with
I
the
loved it.
It
kids.
was super cheesy.
I thought the kids were so fun.
It's like an insane thing to put at the tail end of this movie, because you have like Jane lying in a hospital bed dying of cancer, and then that happens after that. It's like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
I think they were laying the groundwork for showing like that Thor's good with kids, and now he's gonna
Yeah. 'Cause
adopt this
he
other kid.
adopts Gore, the God Butcher's
Did we
daughter,
ever
who
find
gets
out
brought
her
back to
name?
life.
I
It's just Love.
I
right?
never caught a name.
I felt like they just called her Love.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she came back to life, and now she and Thor are flying around in a spaceship helping people.
And why does he call the pancake? He called them like flap cakes or
Cake flaps?
Pan
Pan
flaps?
Pan flaps.
Is that just like because he doesn't
Flap.
quite understand Earth culture?
He doesn't
or is
know
that
it
like
is-
an
I
actual
think that's
term?
what it was.
No,
Yeah.
I think he just doesn't know
I
exactly
think
what
he's
things are
yeah,
called.
he's just mixing up pancakes and flapjacks there.
Pan flaps. Okay,
Pan
I thought that
flaps.
was kind of cute though. I like that.
And then she has powers too, given to her by
does.
the Eternity, which is a god or a supernatural being that grants you a wish.
Like a
yeah.
genie.
Wasn't
Yeah.
crazy about that part of the storyline. I was like, do we really need a magical wish at the end of this?
Well,
like,
and
why
I
does it have
thought
to
Thor
be
was
like...
gonna wish for Jane to not die.
Right?
but
Why
I
doesn't
guess that was a
Thor?
waste of a wish.
How come Thor and Jane don't get wishes? They got there too.
It was the first.
Is there
it
only
was,
one
It
person
was
gets
the first
one wish?
The thing was it was the first person to reach it.
Oh.
Got it.
Okay. Also, just felt super convenient that there's just a magic wishing
Yeah.
thing. So
Can you
anytime there's
imagine
that.
like you're a magic statue at the end of the universe and your only purpose ever is to grant one wish? No one had ever like reached that before. It seemed pretty easy to get to.
Well, it's kind of similar if you think about it to Red Skull having to guard the Soul Stone
Yeah, like
In-
why is he even there?
on that mountain, and it's like, okay, he's there to guard it, but when someone receives it, what happens to him? Does he just like chill forever?
Oh.
Does he
And
cease to
what-
exist?
to exist, I
And
guess.
to what extent is he even guarding it? Like, how much of that is even him?
Hmm.
And why did the universe choose him? It's just like, who should guard this stone? Oh, I think maybe a Nazi? Yeah, let's take this dead Nazi guy with no face.
No face.
I don't know. Anyways, we're into Endgame now. We're not talking about Endgame.
But we are always talking about Endgame,
Pretty
just
much.
in case
I
you
don't
were
know.
wondering.
Not all the time.
Jonathan always is.
True.
All right.
What do you think about the hair and eyebrows in this movie, Jennifer?
Oh, they were
Ooh.
so good. Everybody looked amazing. I loved Valkyrie's braids. They looked great. I liked Natalie Portman's blonde hair.
Yeah.
I was worried it was going to wash her out, but I feel like she pulled it off well. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, see, I like her better with the. I like her with the long hair, but I like it better with the brown.
Dark. Well, I think she looks better with dark, but I felt like she pulled off the blonde pretty well, though.
Yeah,
too.
it was okay.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Voldemort. I keep calling him Voldemort. What was his name?
His name is Gore, the God Butcher.
Well, he had no eyebrows and no hair and bad teeth, so he was rough to look at.
But after he got into the Eternity's place,
They
his
came
teeth got
back.
fixed.
Yeah, he did get a little color back in
Yeah.
his face too. Oh, we didn't even talk about all the black and white stuff. Like that was pretty neat.
Yeah, that was
everything's
cool.
very
Yeah.
Black and
They go
white.
into the
Yeah.
shadow realm and all the color drains from everything.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
really cool. I thought that was an interesting choice. It looked really cool on screen. The visuals were just
Yeah.
great. Everything looked amazing.
Completely off the wall. It was amazing.
Yeah. I loved when she, because the hammer had been fallen apart, each individual piece could separate and then come
Yeah,
back.
that was
Yeah.
cool.
That like gave me
That was a
chills
cool-
the first time it happened, and she
Yeah,
threw
that
it
was a
and
cool
just like,
addition.
oh, that was really cool. It
And then
could
at the
just,
end-
spread apart and come back together.
That's how she defeats him, is that Mjolnir sort of like swallows his evil sword thing
Right.
that is corrupting him and making him evil.
Yeah.
Then she smashes the hammer again and it just turns to dust. That was really cool.
Yeah,
It was
really cool.
an interesting way way to defeat him.
And oh my god, we didn't even talk about the first evil guys that Thor is fighting in this movie with the Guardians are like these Jim Henson puppet looking
They're
guys.
wild, yeah.
Those like nightmare fuel puppet looking things.
They look
was
like
very
gerbils to me.
when
or rabbits
they
with no
first
ears.
gave us that like small.
I didn't know that was going to be the
Yeah.
bad guys because they looked too
Yeah.
like cute or
Well,
something.
yeah, well, when they first gave you the small shot of them, I was like, is that a puppet? It looked like a puppet to me.
A little bit. Yeah, they were weird.
They were weird.
Yeah.
And then
there
they
was, like,
destroyed that palace. Or the,
You know,
the-
Well,
and then
Thor
what
did
about
that.
when they were in that God meeting and there was the guy that was just a head and feet, like feet
That
coming
was
out
creepy.
of his head.
Yeah,
Oh, that was something out of like
so strange.
Labyrinth or Never-Ending Story.
Yeah,
or
I
something
feel
that.
like this movie is a little bit Labyrinth inspired. I feel like
Yeah.
there's a lot of that
like
in there.
just weird body horror sort
Oh,
of
yeah.
kind of stuff.
Well, speaking of horror
Yeah.
and weird stuff, what do we think about Russell Crowe playing Zeus?
What?
Oh, I
I
had
gotta
no-
ask about his accent. What was
Yeah.
that supposed to be?
It sounded like he was trying to do a Greek accent.
That
Yeah,
was Greek?
I think it was
sounded
supposed
like
to be a
vaguely
Greek.
Spanish.
I think it was supposed to be a Greek accent.
Oh, no, that
Yeah,
was
no,
not
the god-
great. I did not get that from what he was doing.
The gods
so.
should always just be British.
Honestly, and-
Or just use your normal voice.
Yeah.
Don't try to use his voice is fine. He could have pulled it off. I don't know what
Yeah.
that was an
I
odd
think-
choice. It made it
Yeah.
more. I mean, I
Silly.
don't know. He made it more silly. Yeah, like he wasn't like as intimidating of a character when
Yeah.
he's doing this strange voice. It reminded me of when Harrison Ford did that high voice for no reason in Blade Runner. It's
Oh,
like, what
right.
was that?
And she had never heard his voice before, so
Yeah.
he didn't need to disguise his voice.
Yeah, like
And I didn't catch that was Russell Crowe at all. It didn't look like him to me. I don't know. wasn't
I
paying-
got it like after a minute.
Yeah.
Like,
Not
but
that
it
I was
took-
even paying that much attention to him because I was like, okay, whatever. Zeus next.
Well, and then with doing the fake
Yeah.
voice, that didn't do him any favors. But he was interesting. I mean, and then when
I
he takes
guess.
all of Thor's clothes off, that was like something that happened. But,
Yeah, what about that
yeah,
butt? That like 2
yeah.
seconds
And he
of
had
butt.
those. Did you guys notice his tattoos? He
Yeah.
had one for Loki.
Yeah.
It was
And it
so
said
funny.
it said "Rest in Mischief" at the bottom.
That's so
That's-
cool.
It's so cute.
That's my next tattoo. I'm gonna get that. I loved it.
R.A.P. Loki, rest in mischief.
so funny.
Anybody else think that butt was a little disappointing?
I mean, as far as
I
butts go,
Don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean,
It was fine, I guess. I don't know. I
I'm
feel
not.
like
Well, the
I
thing
feel
is,
like
like,
it's one of those that
I was
look-
more looking at his like
Yeah.
V-shaped back. Like,
Yeah,
if anybody
right?
ever had
Yeah.
a V back, it was him.
yeah, he has very broad shoulders and
Yeah.
a narrow waist.
He has a
yeah.
great body. I just feel like he has one of those butts that looks better in pants. You know?
Well,
Yeah.
tall guys don't have good butts, Max.
Yeah.
That's why I like short guys.
Okay.
We've talked about this.
Have we?
I don't know. In my
Okay.
head.
She's talked about it, just
I've-
not to you.
I talked about it.
Don't talk to me
Tall
about
guys
butts.
do not have good butts.
I
They
know
just don't.
I know we've
They're just
talked
spread
about
out.
butts on the show. I just don't
That's
remember
why I like
that.
short guys. Moving on.
Short people got
No butts. Yeah. So yeah, an uncovered butt it's hard to be like super attractive.
It,
like,
it always
bet-
comes out more funny than anything else.
Yeah, it
right?
always looks better when it's covered up. You know,
Yeah.
someone with a nice butt that wears like jeans or tight pants or something that looks good.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's not like, oh, I wonder what the skin underneath that looks like.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
It's not
Well, and
nothing
then
more
especially if you have like
attractive.
weird tan lines or something.
Yeah.
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 But his arms
Yeah, it
were
always just
huge.
comes out looking more funny than anything.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing about like why I like Chris Hemsworth in this role is he's like a big, intimidating looking kind of dude, but he's not like The Rock or Vin Diesel or something like that. He's like super funny and charming, and I think it's just like this interesting mix of comedy, but also like a big, broad dude. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's
I love
also
him in
he's
that.
a very good actor.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
His emotional moments and stuff when he was telling Jane that he loves her and all
Yeah.
that.
Well,
That
That's
was
why
very,
I think
very
that's why he's my
touching.
favorite. I think of all of them, I think he is the best actor. I think he's got the most range.
Oh yeah.
All right. That was eyebrows and hair.
That was a lot.
What?
And naked people.
And butts.
Eyebrows
Um,
and hair and
There's
butts.
a lot to
and-
talk about.
Let's move on
Russell Crowe.
to our awards.
Yay!
What do you mean you've never seen
Ooh.
awards?
Yeah.
Okay, first question is for Max. Is
Yes.
this movie better than the Muppet movie?
It could be. It's definitely like amongst my top favorite Marvel movies for sure.
It's got good songs.
Yeah, it's got good songs.
You
It's
know?
got puppety looking things.
Yeah.
I might go with It could go sort of a tie, but I'm going to go with yes. I think I would watch this movie again before I watch the Muppet movie again.
Hot take.
Yeah.
Very
sure.
cool. All right, Jennifer,
Yes.
who's the
Medium
winner
taste.
of the movie and who's the loser of the movie?
Oh, I really think Valkyrie won the movie. I thought she was very funny.
Yeah.
I loved her Phantom of the Opera shirt. She was take charge. She knew what to do. She had her cool bar. She's just very, very cool. She's just like, one of those cool, not like the other girls,
For sure.
but not in an obnoxious tropey way,
Mm.
like
Yeah.
in a good way, And the loser would have to be, I guess the easy answer is that Gore guy that I can't remember his name.
That's his name.
No. Actually, the loser was the first god that he killed, because that god did suck, and
That
He was a
god
jerk.
he
did
started all the problems.
suck.
Because if he had actually just helped this guy,
Yeah.
or even not even helped him, but just like done nothing, would have been better
Right.
than what he
Yeah.
did. So yeah, that guy sucked.
Mhm.
He lost.
How about you, Max? Who's the winner and who's the loser?
Ooh, who's the winner? I think Thor might have actually won this movie because he gets to have some pancakes and he gets to have an epic battle alongside a little girl who he's fond with. Like, I don't know, Thor dad vibes is kind of fun. I dig it. I dig it more than them like dragging out the Jane storyline any longer because it just sort of keeps failing and it's getting not fun to see just being like, bye Jane, bye.
Yeah,
Bye, gonna
they don't really belong
Yeah.
together. They live in different worlds.
Literally.
Sad.
Who lost this movie? Zeus kind of lost this movie. We haven't heard the last from Zeus though, but he did lose big time.
He lost his. What is he gonna do? He doesn't have his thunderbolt
Yeah,
anymore.
I think those poor
True.
goats pulling the boat
Oh my
along
God.
lost the
Goats were
movie.
so annoying. Why did they have to scream so
The
much?
ghosts that screamed.
And what
what-
happened
was
to
upsetting.
them? Did they kind of disappear from the
Well,
movie?
they were
and don't-
pulling
Yeah.
the ship at one point, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to
I
them
also
after
thought
that.
it was wild when it did go to black and white and they landed on that planet. Apparently their landing plan was just to go straight down like goat first and
Yes.
land that way.
And then
the
gravity
goats
pulled the
start
rest of
screaming.
it like
Yeah.
I guess.
I
like
was
when
like,
the
was
like
that
like
your
the
plan to
Titanic
land?
when the Titanic was sinking and it like came up with its butt in the air and then smashed down.
Yeah.
Weird.
It was like who's driving this thing? Whose plan was
It
that?
wasn't really a spaceship. It was like a carnival ride.
It was
right?
kind of
like,
crazy.
It was wild. It was interesting choices made in this movie. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Literally, they were just like, "Oh, we need some sort of a."
Very like ragtag. We're just gonna
Yeah.
throw this crap
But
together.
it was like, "Oh, we need something to travel in," and it's just like, "Come aboard our magical ship boat of whatever imagination."
Right.
We're gonna go on a wonderful journey.
It was like the boats from the Frozen ride in Norway.
Yeah.
in Epcot.
Frozen ever after. All right. So the goats were the losers. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Those
Yes.
goats were losers.
Goats were not.
Loser goats.
I'm going to say the winner of this movie for me is Sif because that bitch is still alive,
Yeah.
even though everybody
She was
else
so disappointed.
Everybody else from Thor's first movie, with I guess the exception of Darcy and Stellan
Yeah.
Skarsgård's character, they're all dead.
Yeah.
But Sif is still trucking, and she was fighting with Heimdall's son with one arm, and she was still kicking pretty much
Oh,
ass.
I know. That
Yeah.
was so cool at the
Yeah.
end. I like that.
So she's the winner. I guess the loser probably is Darcy because she only shows up for one scene.
Yeah.
And she has to be in like the Lifetime original movie part of this movie.
Yeah.
Where it's Jane's got cancer and you need to slow down. Like it's
Girl,
not. It couldn't have been very
slow
fun for her
She
to film
does
that.
get to eat chips.
She does.
Yeah.
So-
But then Thor breaks
She
an
didn't
entire
fix.
vending machine and brings her even more chips
Yeah.
for
yeah,
Natalie
that was
Portman when
cool.
she's in the
That's
hospital.
funny because like somebody didn't put a door.
A
on the
refrigerator with no door. What an
Oh,
idiot.
he's so funny. Oh,
Yeah.
that's
But
a-
He was so
Jonathan-
funny and so charming.
Jonathan, she can't help with the plot line. She's eating chips.
Exactly. Like what else? That's
she
why
was
I was
eating
saying she gets to eat
chips.
chips.
Yeah.
So that's why she couldn't do more. She did her exposition and that's it.
And I don't think you're supposed to eat when someone's getting chemo.
Like in the room.
Yeah,
I thought
no.
the chips were like for
That
her.
didn't seem
but
like
I
a
don't
very
know.
sanitary.
Yeah, she's eating. Did she eat the chips? I can't remember if she was eating the chips or she
I
just
feel
brought
like
the
she
chips.
was just like snacking on some chips while she's eating
Probably,
chemo.
yeah.
But I
I don't
yeah.
remember actually seeing anyone eat chips. I just remember a bunch of open bags. I'd have to look at it. I'd have
Maybe.
to watch it again to see.
Maybe. But yeah, she's just there to give plot exposition. Just like
Yeah,
you. But
although-
you have stage 4 cancer. Like you'd ever actually have that conversation with someone.
Yeah.
I do think that it was funny when she goes, "You have cancer, Jane," and she's like, "Yeah, but it's stage 4. Out of how many stages?" And Darcy's like, 4.
That was funny.
They found it. They found the one funny cancer line.
Yes.
It was
Much like Thor
Congratulations.
4, which this movie is.
Thor
Thor
4.
4. They don't explain what kind of cancer she has, right?
No, it's just cancer.
Just
Yeah.
cancer. Okay.
But
She's
yeah.
got the tired cancer. Well, she reminded me of Barbara
Yeah.
Hershey in Beaches. I just kept thinking that.
I could
Like she
see
even
that.
looks like her a little bit.
Yeah.
Like
but that was a heart problem. That wasn't cancer.
Yeah.
yeah, but like when she was sick, she had that same sick person
The
face.
gaunt makeup look, yeah. Well, let's move on to the next thing. Our Panelists' Choice Awards. So you're going to award one character,
Ooh.
place, or plot point the best out of something. I'm going to go with Stellan Skarsgård for the best Skype of the movie because he Skyped with her. He was very compassionate. He said, look, it's not working. You're going to die. But let me know if you need anything.
Yeah.
That's
I
pretty
guess.
nice.
Yeah.
That was a good Skype.
Yeah. You know, he
And it's nice
told
to-
her like he is.
It's nice to know that he's still doing science and
Yeah.
stuff after he was brought back from the snap.
I'm going to give best costume change to all of them for the God scene where Valkyrie and Natalie Portman decide they don't want Zeus to take off their clothes. And they're like, nope, change.
Here we are.
Very quickly, they took those robes off. I thought that was hilarious.
I'm going to give Korg the best boyfriend reveal of the movie.
Oh, and he had a little mustache.
Oh my God, a mustache that
Mustache.
cracked me up.
What
That
was
so
what was
great.
the guy's name? What was the other guy's
Oh man, I
name?
missed it. I
feel-
don't remember.
I feel like it was like Bob. Or
Yeah, it was
Like
like
Brad
Bob. It was
or-
like Bob or Chuck or something. I
It was
can't
a real
remember.
name.
It was like a real name. It
yeah.
was like,
Oh, so funny.
you know, like Korg and Bob or something.
Yeah,
like
he had
that.
a mustache. That was
So
hysterical.
cute.
I mean, I guess maybe like his species is all males. That's kind
Yeah.
of what it sounded
I'm
like.
guessing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. That was interesting. I like that.
Another nice piece of inclusion there.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting because in Multiverse of Madness they introduced America Chavez, who comes from an all lesbian society, and now they're introducing Korg as someone who is from an all gay society.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wonder if they like meet up in the multiverse to have like a party or something.
That'd be a fun party in
would be a fun party.
Da Club.
Duck Club.
Are they going to be up in Da Club getting turned?
Yeah.
Maybe.
We should get turned at Da Club.
But yeah, it was cute when he was talking about his dad's in the lava pool, and it was
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
adorable.
Like, oh, and that's how you have a baby.
All
We
right.
hold hands above a lava pool
For like a month,
For
I
like
think.
months. I think it was like several months. I don't
Oh,
remember.
it was funny.
All right, so let's rate this movie. You know the rules. How many out of 5? And pick a metric that's related to the movie.
Okay, who's going first?
You are. Since
Oh,
you're the one
I thought you were
talking.
talking to me. Okay, I will give it 5 out of 5 planets with multiple suns. I thought it was so fun. I thought it was so unique and interesting, and the story went in places you didn't expect, and I loved it. And the music was amazing. I loved Guns N' Roses, and you even got some Mary J. Blige in there. It was hilarious. So many fun moments. I enjoyed every bit of it.
Cool. What about you, Max?
I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 ever-growing weapons that Thor wields as a thing. He just now has weapons that just fly around him in all of the movies all the time. It was 1, now then it was 2, now we have 3 total weapons. Yeah, I thought it's an amazing movie, maybe one of the best Marvel movies. I thought it was, the pacing was very good. It didn't have hardly any dull moments. I was sort of concerned after that first scene where it's just like desert for a long time. It's just like, oh, it's going to be one of those. But after that, there was not like a single moment, like
Right.
not a dull moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
All right, I'm going to give it 4.5 out of 5 stuffed bunny rabbits that you get to use with the power of
That was
Thor
so
for a
cute.
limited amount of time
That was
Limited
only.
time only.
Was that the power of Thor or was it Zeus?
I think it was the power of
because he had
Thor.
the eye thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it was wasn't it the lightning bolt or was it Stormbreaker?
No, it's when his eyes glow, that's his power.
Oh.
Because remember how it turned out in Thor Ragnarok that his power doesn't come from the hammer, it comes from within him.
Yeah, and then other people who get powers from the hammer, those are
Yeah.
theirs
They possess,
powers.
so he was
They possess
much
the
like
power of Thor, but he also always possesses the power of Thor because he is Thor.
right. So just like when Odin gave the power of Thor to the hammer in the first movie,
Yeah.
he was taking away Thor's power that he had within himself. He wasn't like saying, "Oh, now you can't have the hammer." It's like now the power is in the hammer. It turns out once Thor is worthy, he has his power anyway.
Okay.
I think.
That's convoluted.
I'm not a comic book person. I don't know how that works. If you want to hear a nice discussion about Thor, there's an episode of The Big Bang Theory where the girls read a Thor comic and argue about, well, who's worthy?
The logistics.
So if
okay.
if the hammer's in an elevator and the elevator goes up, is the elevator worthy? Anyway, I'm going to give, I already gave my metric for this, didn't I? The bunny
Yes,
rabbits.
the bunny
Because
rabbit
the reason I'm
metric.
giving the bunny rabbit
You gave it 4 out of 5
is
or 4.5.
I don't think it's a perfect film. I was pretty bummed out that Natalie Portman died at the end, even though she shows up in Valhalla with Heimdall in the post-credit scene.
That was cool.
Which I guess hints that we're going to see them again, which would be cool because Heimdall was like so wasted in those first 3 movies.
Yeah.
Or first 2 movies in Avengers Infinity War.
I mean,
no, he was in all 3.
I
of
can
the first
tell
3.
you what I know of her after this in the comics, but it's very possible her story doesn't end here.
Cool. So it was sad that she died, but it's nice that Thor has a little girl to take care of, someone to love, because she tells him as she's dying, make sure your heart stays open. That was really nice.
Yeah, like I said, I'm bummed that Jane died, but I think it is time to end that will they, won't they storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Because,
I kind of think they're never going to really make it work.
Yeah, it was sort of old after the second movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was just okay, that's enough of that. And then they added in more stuff from their relationship that definitely didn't happen. When did they even have time for that?
Yeah, they made it sound like they lived together for months, and I'm like, did I miss something?
Well, he comes back at the end, in the post credits of Thor: The Dark World, which is a movie Jennifer has not seen. He comes back,
seen parts of it.
and they kiss at the end of that movie, and then the next time we see him is in Avengers: Age of Ultron, and they kind of just be like, "Oh yeah, Jane, it didn't work out with Jane." So I think between Thor: The Dark World and Avengers: Age of Ultron is when all that stuff took place.
That's a deep cut. That's a very specific.
It all comes back to Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah,
they're going to make us care about that movie, no matter what.
It's the worst one, though, right? That's
Yeah.
why I haven't bothered.
Not that it's extra terrible, but I don't know.
But the other ones are so good.
Yeah, the other ones are so good, and it was just kind of okay.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to move on to our final thoughts and feelings about the movie.
Okay.
If anybody has anything they haven't shared yet that they still want to talk about, now's your time. Speak now, forever hold your peace.
I love Thor talking to the kids, when he was, appearing as a hologram or a ghost or whatever. And Valkyrie's messing with him too. That was just so cute. And, and I thought it was so cute when he's like, oh, never meet your heroes. And Axel's like, well, I met my hero. I just thought the kids were so cute and not too precocious. The kids were good. I like the kids.
Yeah, the stuff with the kids was not precious.
No.
Yeah.
Which I was glad for.
They were realistic kids. They weren't, over the top. The kids were good. And he was good with them. That's how he would be in real life.
Yeah. And it was a good way to do anything before Thor's supposed to be a father, and that's how he's finding himself in this movie, because otherwise they didn't do a lot to actually help him find himself in this movie, which was kind of the thematic point they were trying to put across in the beginning. It was, go find yourself. Also fight evil, but also you should go find yourself. And they didn't do much other than
I think he figured out that he needed somebody to love. And, he thought that was Jane, and he had that with Jane, but then Jane died. But that's why she says, keep your heart open, because there's other kinds of love and other ways you can show love to people.
Very true.
Yeah.
Love
true.
and thunder.
Anyways,
you can also,
you can share the thunder.
Share the thunder.
Anyways, I like that they introduced him around children a few times before they were like, oh, here's a kid. It wasn't just out of the blue.
Right. And it would have been out of place, Baby Boom,
Right.
There's the crossover we need.
Thor, Baby Boom.
Thor
and Diane Keaton solving crimes with a baby.
Exactly.
That's where Thor 5 is going, because it does say at the end of the movie that Thor will return.
Thor will return.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've gotten a will return, isn't it?
Well, I think Eternals will return.
Oh, I don't remember.
But
I don't even
who knows? I mean, hopefully they do, because I liked that movie.
I felt like it didn't do that well, right?
It didn't, but some of them will come back.
Critically great.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we'll do a review of it someday.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you wanted to add, Jennifer?
I don't think so. I think I said my piece. I loved it. I thought it was so fun. Thor is my favorite by far.
Yeah, I'm glad that they continued making movies with him and that we're potentially going to get a fifth one.
Yeah.
I think of all of them, his story could just go on forever because he lives forever. So
Yeah.
Right.
he's never going to get old and die, although Chris Hemsworth, I guess, will in real life.
Hemsworth will. Chris Hemsworth
But
isn't
Chris
actually
Hemsworth
immortal.
has been playing this role for over 10 years and he still
He's
looks
like the
really
Hugh
good.
Jackman, when he did
Well, he
Wolverine
started
until he
young,
was
too.
like 70, or whatever.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, I don't think I have anything else to add to that.
I just want to say that I thought that last scene was really great. Just him with the little girl getting ready, really bonding, and then like the reveal that they're on a spaceship and what they're doing is they're going into battle.
Right. Makes it seem
Yeah.
like she's getting ready to go to school or
It was,
something.
yeah, it was really
was fun.
fun. It was really cute. It was like everything. It
And
was
then the
great.
credits were fun. Like, I loved all the different
Yeah.
fonts and like comic booky
Yeah,
credits.
it was
Like,
nice.
so
Not
cute.
gonna lie, kind of hard to read, but like still really fun. It was
Who
fun to
cares?
see.
We don't need to read them.
There was one guy in there who had like 5 names, and I was like, oh, I did not catch that.
Jonathan and I started reading the names as they were scrolling
Yeah.
at the very beginning and end, and I'm like, we should look this person up. Maybe they want to be on the podcast. But some of them had some crazy names.
So, yeah, if you worked on this movie and you have a crazy name,
No offense.
no offense, but please,
Yeah.
by all means, come and be on our show.
Yeah.
Please, that would be great.
But if you worked on this movie and you have a normal name, like
If
forget
you're
about
like
it, yeah.
Chris Hemsworth,
Yeah.
who needs
Like
that
really
guy?
a Chris. Like really, we are not interested in any Chris's from this movie coming on our show.
I mean,
What? You wouldn't want Chris Hemsworth to come on this movie?
There were 2 of them. It was
This
a
isn't a
joke.
movie. This is a
Oh my God.
podcast.
Wait, what?
We failed. I failed at telling a sarcasm. Quick, somebody sign off.
Okay, that's our show, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah, we'll
and
see
everyone
how
else.
it goes.
Yes. On behalf of my co-hosts and myself, I want to thank our listeners for joining us each week. Thank you for liking, subscribing, downloading, and leaving those 5-star reviews.
Yes.
If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can send us an email at whatdoyoumeanyou'veneverseen@gmail.com or check
Yes.
the description of this episode for links to all of our social media. We love engaging with our fans, so please send us an email, DM, or text. Goodbye from myself, Jonathan.
Goodbye from Jennifer.
Goodbye, everybody. Doesn't work this way. Okay, goodbye, everyone.
Bye, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. This episode of What Do You Mean You've Never Seen was edited by Jonathan Colon and Max Abelman. Our episodes and digital content are produced by Max Abelman. Your hosts are our writer, Jonathan Colon, producer, Max Abelman, and head of social media and community outreach, Jennifer Branch. All artwork for our show is created by James Alexander with Pleasant View Designs. Check the links in the description below for more information on how to follow the show and subscribe to our Patreon. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll see you at the movies.